On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died.
Matthew Shepard was brutally beaten to death by two men 20 years ago. The men were arrested and charged with murder. The killing is described by Shepard's parents, Dennis and Judy, as a hate-motivated murder.
We started a foundation in Matt's name to try to raise awareness about issues of violence and discrimination facing the gay community in the country and actually in the world. And that's what we're still doing 20 years later.
The Shepards are advocates for the LGBTQ community. They were the guest speakers recently at a Jennifer Lewis for Congress reception. More than 100 people crowded into the Mill Street Grill in Stanton.
Jennifer has been very active in the local community, and we believe what she's doing because she's worked very closely with the young people. And these young people need an equal chance to succeed based on their abilities, their desire to work hard, the choices they make in life, not because they're different. And she sees the kids as just kids, as young people, and not based on their income bracket or the clothes that they wear or their skin color. And we think that's important because we need people like her back in Congress representing not only her district, but the country as a whole.
Lewis is a Democrat running for the 6th District Congressional seat.
I've been an advocate and an ally since my uncle came out and when I was in middle school. I know that you and I talked about that when we talked to each other at Pride in Harrisonburg. So it's something that I've always been really passionate about, and I'm going to share a couple more personal stories later tonight about, you know, when my uncle came out. I was bullied in school for having a gay uncle. In college, I had a gay friend who he left my house one night, and while he was going home, he got beat up. And this is somewhere that I, as a woman, felt safe and never got hassled, never got harassed. I walked those streets every day. Just thank you really from the bottom of my heart for you all for being here. You all know that the LGBTQAI community is extremely important to me. My uncle came out when I was in middle school, and I remember thinking how sad it was that my aunt and uncle weren't going to be married anymore and that the parents were separating. And I didn't know how my family how they would respond. So the first Christmas that my uncle brought his boyfriend, where all of us kids were like listening, what are the adults going to say? How are we supposed to respond? When the boyfriend went out to smoke a cigarette, that's when the whispers started. They didn't care that they were gay. They cared that he was a cigarette smoker.
My nephew's daughter came out after she graduated from high school. And my nephew's other daughter came out as vegan. The point of the story is, the one that came out as vegan was more worried about telling her grandpa she was a vegan than the daughter who came out as a lesbian.
Her husband explained how important it is to vote.
Our national treasure are our young people. If they aren't allowed to succeed or fail on their own desires, their own abilities to work hard, the choices they make in life, if they are put down because they are different, this country fails. We need to give them an equal chance and not push them aside because they may not have the best clothes, they may have an accent, they may have a different color skin. Forget all that. Let's get people in there like Jennifer who they don't look at skin color, they look at the person. There's a story that Judy likes to tell about the Bird family. I think it was Levon, wasn't it? One of the sisters of James Byrd Jr. Her granddaughter came home from kindergarten. All excited the first day, said, I made a new friend. We're just going to have so much fun together. I can't wait for school tomorrow. And Levon asked her, said, well, what color was her skin? And she said, I forgot to look. And that is what we need now in this country.
He encouraged the crowd not only to vote, but to take someone with them to the polls.
This is not a right, this is a privilege. And if we don't do something, we're going to lose this privilege along with everything else that they're trying to take away from us now. From education to Justice Department, from energy, everything. We have to pay attention. It's burnout. Every day is a new circus. And if we don't keep paying attention, they will win in more ways than one. So it's up to all of you to do your part by talking about this, by talking about what Jennifer represents, and getting people out there to vote.
Of course I'm going to vote for Jennifer Lewis.
Pam Gibson is a psychology professor at James Madison University. Gibson says she's known Lewis for years.
Jen is on the humane and right side of every issue I can think of. I've known Jen for 4 years. I met her at social actions. She cares about every single issue that I've ever talked about.
In Stanton, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.